everyone, welcome back to the Think Global and Work Local podcast. In today's episode, we're going to feature another special guest here, Bob. Hey
Hello,
Bob.
hello.
So welcome to the podcast. Before we start our conversation, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, especially for the listeners out there that probably doesn't know about you yet.
Okay, so I'm Bob. I'm 25 years old now. I'm the co-CEO and the co-founder of Lead For Taiwan, which is a non-profit organization promoting education, critical thinking, sustainability in Taiwan. And I'm also running a bar called Amorpha Tea in Taipei.
So what you're doing is actually very interesting. So why don't you tell me more about Lead for Taiwan first?
Lead for Taiwan started in 2018, and we're now the biggest organization to do such things in Taiwan. So what we do is we teach critical thinking and sustainability in high schools all over Taiwan, and we train university students to become lecturers and send them to all these high schools we're cooperating. And such course is not just one workshop or a speech, it's a 18 weeks, 4 semesters course.
Oh wow, so it's like a program.
It is.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what led you to build Lead for Taiwan in the first place? Yeah, because you mentioned you built it in 2018.
Yes.
So that was kind of like about 5 years ago. So
Yes.
it's been running for quite some time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so my co-founder Alan and I, when we were still in high school, we really disliked the education system because, for example, when we're having history classes, we're learning to remember when the Western Roman Empire collapsed. And like I said, 90% of Taiwanese high schoolers can answer it immediately. Yeah.
Wow. So you feel like the education system is more into like just memorizing facts and stuff, and less about teaching them like how to build your own thinking and be critical about.
Yes, exactly. Because all these memorizing, it is not helping for the students to what they will face in the future. Yeah.
So because of this trends or common theme that you see in the education system, that's what lets you build like Lead for Taiwan. And so between 2018 and now 2023, so during those 5 years period, what kind of like impact or changes have you seen? Yeah.
Yes. So it's been an amazing journey, I would say. When we started in 2018, schools they didn't have such kind of classes in the schools. So the students there, they want such kind of courses, but they just don't have a chance to have it. So after years, I've been to a lot of different schools to teach, and all these feedbacks are just so nice that we can actually see the changes in their minds, how they see the world, how they analyze problem, how they solve problems. It's just something spectacular. Yeah.
So I feel like what you're doing is actually really meaningful because not only you've kind of like impact the way like the education system here in Taiwan to change or start that change, but most importantly you make an impact in the student's life, right? Because you say like, oh, mindset, to see the way that they see the world, perceive the world. That's a really powerful thing because like your mindset is like influence a lot of things in your life. So from Lead to Taiwan, and you mentioned now you also run a bar, Amor Fadi. what is the story in between? Like, what led you to now also running a bar? Yeah.
Yeah, so running a bar is quite a different thing besides education.
Asian, right? So it's
Yeah.
like two very different areas you
Yeah.
felt. Uh-huh.
So I started to learn bartending when I was 16. So back when I was 16, I lived in France. We drank a lot of alcohol there,
Yeah.
including wine and cocktails. Yeah, so that's where I started the journey of bartending. Yes, so after coming back to Taiwan, last year we had an opportunity to actually buying a bar and run it. Yes,
That's really
so
that's really cool.
yeah, we started to build everything up, making good drinks for customers and just making new friends here. Yeah, so it's a fun thing to do.
Wow. So our Friday is actually in Taipei. It's near Zhongshan Dunhua Station. In case you guys are interested, you could come here. So you also mentioned that you were studying in France and then you decided to go back. Before making that decision, what actually made you like, sure, okay, I want to go back and build my life here in Taiwan? Because most of my friends, especially the ones that have experience abroad or they probably studied overseas, they could find it a bit like hard to immerse themselves here in Taiwan. Yeah. So, is there any pivotal moment or what influenced your decision to think like, okay, I probably just go back to Taiwan and build my own things rather than just maybe building your life overseas? Probably if you work overseas, your salary is much higher there compared the ones in Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hard choice to make because yes, I do know how to speak French. I'm quite used to the life there, but the thing I want to do is it can only be done in Taiwan, like changing Taiwan's education system. That's the most desirable thing I want to do in my life. So that's why I choose to come back and really committing myself into it.
So you have a very strong reason already. Like you have like a clear vision
Yes.
of what you want to do. And so like the life that you have now, the things that you've achieved, do you think like what is the like main thing or one kind of like traits or skill you think like you have that you think is make it like possible for you to achieve what you've achieved now?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question because if you're asking me last year, I'll probably say because I'm smart to make strategies, make decisions. I'm good at putting things together. But now I would say it's honesty that brings me here where I am. Because all these amazing things I've achieved cannot be done by my own. So a lot of people helped me out, and a lot of these people who helped me, they actually said it was because of my honesty that actually touched them. So they wanted to help me to achieve all these things, and so it's just like this.
Wow, actually it's very deep because I also do think that honesty is very important, especially nowadays that it's very easy for people to fake what they're doing, right? Through social media and all that.
Especially on social media.
So yeah, like honesty is actually becoming a very valuable currency as well. Yeah. So on top of that, what does your day-to-day look like? Because now you run like your nonprofit Lead For Taiwan, and you also run a bar on More Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't sleep much every day. I basically start working at the second I open my eyes.
Wow.
Yes. So, but I like Lead for Taiwan and Amorfati, they're both my passion. So I don't really feel like working. So I don't mind to spend a bit more time on these things that I'm doing. So my everyday life, I'll be having a lot of meetings, making decisions, making strategies for the future, and trying to get investments from like different people. Yes, so that's how my daily life looks like.
Wow. So time management is like really essential for
It
you,
is.
right? Yeah. And I do get a sense that you're someone that actually read a lot. Is there any like one book that you would recommend to the people out there, or just like a certain like either it's like a book or something that you feel like, okay, this book really influenced my life?
Well, if okay, I cannot think of a book that is like my life-changing book.
Okay.
Because yeah, I do read a lot, and the book I'm reading recently, it's called it's a kind of like a textbook from Wharton Business School. It's communication skills for introverts.
Introvert. So you're an introvert.
I am.
Okay.
So, also for the introverts who's listening, that books help. Yeah, because being a CEO means I have to be really socialized with
Yeah.
a lot of different companies, corporates, bosses, and I'm an introvert, so I'm still getting used to.
You're still like trying to make that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, wow, that's really awesome because I'm actually an introvert too, so I probably could relate in that sense. Do you have any one advice for the listeners, or just like one advice that you would tell to your younger self, knowing what you've done or achieved now, but you probably just wish like, okay, if I've known this before, then I've probably could go so much farther?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I'm not the kind of person who plans my whole life. I just do whatever I want at the moment. So for example, I wanted to change the education system when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But then when I'm choosing what to study in college, I studied business, which is nothing to do with education at that moment. Yeah. But in the end, I came back doing education again, and it just suddenly all connects together, because what I've learned from business school helps me a lot. So I would say it's kind of like Steve Jobs said, life is about connecting the dots. You never know what you're doing now would affect your future. Yes. So just do whatever you want at the moment, and somehow it'll just all come together and make who you are right now.
Wow, that's actually a really good and deep advice. Connecting the dots, and then, but also you have to keep doing things, right? Not just like thinking about
not just
it,
thinking,
but actually not putting the works.
Yes, taking action is always the thing that you have to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for making the time. I believe that your story will be inspirational for the listeners out there, especially people that they're in overseas now and they're looking to settle back here in Taiwan, but still like considering. So in case the listeners out there, they want to connect or reach out to you, like what's the best way?
So you can find Lead For Taiwan on Facebook, on Instagram, and also we got a website, So if you're interested in education, find Lead For Taiwan. And if you want to have a nice drink, you can always come to Amofati. Find it on Google Map, on Instagram, and it's in downtown Taipei. So if you also want to have a real life chat with me, come to the bar.
And find Bob here.
Yes.
Yeah, we also put more details about it on the description. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank
and see
you.
you on the next episode.